Today on 3 Minute Mentor, we're going to answer another question from a follower. What do I do if my promotions are not coming fast enough? Okay, I guess the first question is, how do you know they're not coming fast enough? What are you defining that against? Have you talked to friends and colleagues? Do you have a realistic view of how quickly you should get promoted? Let's assume that you have and it makes sense within the company, but you're still not getting those promotions. So maybe 3 things to talk about. First of all, is it the company that you work for? Sometimes it's the size of the company. Clearly, there are better promotions in larger companies. Small firms or family firms may block you from being promoted, however successful and however good you are. Sometimes it's the nature of the workload. Very engineering and sales cultures tend to promote people, with inside those cultures. And often people outside, like marketing or admin or finance, don't succeed because they don't have those engineering or sales backgrounds. Sometimes it's the nature of the work or the customers. There may be a desire, and it may be misplaced or it may not be diverse, but there may be a desire to reflect the culture of what the company, the customers on the market has, and not reward people who appear to be outside of that culture. Whichever way it is, sometimes you have to accept that however much you deserve a promotion, you may not get that opportunity within the company you're in. The second thing to ask is about the role that you have. Often we get involved in roles that make it difficult to be promoted. You may have the desire to be a manager and executive, but you may have been climbing up the individual contributor career path, and sometimes it can be hard to swap from one train to the other. You may work in a team that's not viewed as essential to the business, and sometimes it can be hard to move to teams that are viewed as essential when you're outside the core. Funny enough, many people find themselves in the desire to make themselves irreplaceable in the job they're in. The problem with making yourself irreplaceable is you can't be replaced. It can be really difficult to move out of that job. Finally, you should ask, is it me? Is it something that I'm doing? It may be as simple as actually asking for the promotion. You will be really surprised the number of people who, I talk to and say, well, I'd like to be a manager, I'd like to be a VP, and they've never expressed that desire, they've never told anybody about it, and really it's the first time you're hearing it is when they're upset when they didn't get a promotion. The important thing to do here is to collect the right content, approach and network you need to accelerate through your career. And you can find more details about that in episode 2. The bottom line is this: few people get promotions because it's their turn. You may need to work and position yourself for the right place at the right time for the right job. And if it still doesn't come through, then you may need to accept it, or it may be time to move on.